Hello YouTube, it's Christian. I am here with Cody. This week we're going to be talking about 3 books that helped us get started in real estate. Now on this channel, we don't have any paid promotions, we don't really advertise anything.
And we don't plug products.
Yeah, however, we're going to talk about these 3 books because they actually did help us get started. What we don't want to do is have you get stuck in the cycle of, hey, I'm going to take a course, I'm going to listen to 50 podcasts, I'm going to read 100 books, I'm never going to buy anything. This will help you cut through all the noise. If you read these 3 books, you will have the foundational knowledge to go out and buy real estate, conventionally or creatively.
All right, start with number 1.
Okay, book number 1, One Rental at a Time by Michael Zuber. We actually just met him in person, got to speak at one of his really cool events down in Fresno, California. I like this book a lot because it is very, very simple. This is one person's story of how they actually got financial freedom.
And they have absolutely crushed it. I mean, we're talking zeros beyond where we're at. Like, you just put zeros on the end of everything we've done, and that's where he's at. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy.
Yep, you can follow this channel. He also has a YouTube channel, One Rental at a Time, named conveniently with the book. It's done a good job of branding that. But it has very, very similar principles to how we operate. My favorite rule from his book, no alligator deals.
We've done some of those. Explain what that is.
So an alligator is a little monster that you have to feed all the time. It is always hungry. You throw cash at alligator deals, which means it's a deal that doesn't cash flow. You, in fact, have to feed it capital to keep it going along. He has a principle that he never violates. No alligators.
We've done a few alligators.
We've done 3.
Yeah.
Did they make money? Yes. Were they hard? Absolutely. Should you do them? No, especially when you're getting started.
Yeah. One of our rules, start with profitability. So we had to do that on our first few deals. We didn't get to start with the alligators because if you start just throwing all your money away, well, you don't have any money. So that's why we have our principles. However, following our principles long enough got us to where we could do said deals.
The other thing that he really pushes that I really appreciate is just you have to do the work. Some people look at real estate and they go, hey, it's passive income. I don't have to do anything.
Free money.
It's a lot of work, especially to set up. Now, there is a point where you scale, there's enough cash flow, and you can buy your time back with the cash flow from your rentals. So there is a point where you can make this passive. It is not a I'm going to retire in a year thing.
Oh, no.
You can do it a heck of a lot faster than the 40 hours a week, 9 to 5, but he does a good job of explaining that. And again, the book is this thick. And the font's big. I mean, it's a quick read. It's just a really good read, which is why I really recommend it. If you're getting started, follow these principles. You will be able to retire from real estate if you do what is in this book.
Now,
period.
Once you establish your principles, whether you adopt those, you adopt ours, you make your own, you establish those, now we start talking about the actual creative finance side of the business. A book that I read and got started just learning overall was Deals on Wheels by Lonnie Scruggs. Now, there's a lot of people that say that's outdated content. However, it's not. Deals on Wheels by Lonnie Scruggs talks about microtransactions, mainly on mobile homes. I write a check, I buy a mobile home cash, and if you don't have cash, don't worry about that. This is an idea in that book. You buy it cash, you sell or finance it at a premium to someone else, and then you can sell the note later down the road after you've collected your cash flow. You start getting your down payment back, you get some of your money back. So I go buy a mobile home for 10 grand. I write a check. I sell or finance it to someone for 30 and ask for 5 grand down. Half of my money comes back. Now I get payments for a while, and then I can sell the note down the road to multiply my money. Or I can just hold it and keep the cash flow. A lot of ways to play the game. However, that book, Deals on Wheels, simplified seller financing for me to a point where I could go repeat that on apartment complexes. Different model, different asset class. However, the principles remain the same. So definitely check out that book.
And my favorite part about that book is that is the book, even though, again, it's not specific to large multifamily, it got you started on how do you think creatively. Multiple structures, very, very simple. A heads up, that deal has been out of print, or that book has been out of print for a while.
It costs a little bit of money.
It's, I think, about $150 book?
Yeah.
It is worth every cent. It is a great book. It helped us get started. If you follow the principles in there, you can play the game the way we did. The other thing I really like about it is the people we learned to play the game from, the people who taught us the creative finance game, they think just like the people in the book. Like Lonnie Scruggs laid out the same mindset. This used to be how people bought real estate, used to be how people transacted everything. Social media came along, the internet came along, and it disrupted everything. This is not new content that we're sharing.
Not at all.
This is the classic way of transacting on literally any product.
Simplify it and use what's already been done before. You don't have to invent the wheel or reinvent the wheel. You can just play the game the way people used to play it. Nobody's doing it right now. So check out that book, and then we've got one more.
One more, the first one I ever read. This is The Book on Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner. This one is a widely read book. It's a little bit meatier than the One Rental at a Time. What I liked about this is this went through every facet of real estate investing. It didn't deep dive anything, which is also why I like it for beginners. It got me to a point where I could read this and it's like, okay, the property management chapter. It's not that complicated to manage a property. Here are the basics. Here's what you're looking to do. Here's how you build your team. Okay. Raising capital. It doesn't go super deep into everything on raising capital, but it gives you the basics of this is the different type of capital. This is how you raise it. This is how you put it together. This is how you do a deal. Same on analytics. There's a lot of good stories in here. There's a lot of good content. Brandon Turner is a great speaker and a great writer. If you haven't seen him on Bigger Pockets, you should. He was on there. He's their main guy for a long time. But this is excellent content for me. I read this book. I bought my first condo. I house hacked it because I was principal in this book. I had a roommate. It got me started in real estate. Now, while I didn't love house hacking, that wasn't the strategy I went with. It did get me into the landlord space. I rented that space out to a tenant later. I learned a lot about how not to manage your property, and it got me to a duplex, another duplex. We partnered.
And 38 unit, and the rest is history.
Exactly.
The reason these books are some of our favorites, we want to share it with you, is they don't go super deep into all the different strategies. If you go too deep in the beginning before you start applying any of the information, it gets very overwhelming. We can talk about that from past experience, but if you add too much information in the mix before you actually apply it and realize, oh, this is possible, this can be done, it's just going to weigh you down. Then these books give you enough to start acting, like we talk about practical application, making stuff happen, without giving you too much information that weighs you down to where you can't do anything because you're just stuck. And you get in the analysis paralysis mode. That's where a lot of people end up. Stick with these books because they don't go so deep to where you get stuck.
Yeah, and there's other books that you can read, but I'm not going to push all of them. Like for real estate, like Mindset for Business, I really like 10X Rule. I mean, there's a bunch of other great books out there.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki's books. I mean, he's got a couple that are really solid, but most people have already seen those. And the mindset is great, but the actual information of this is what you do, not just the mindset of, oh, I need to think this way. That'll take you further.
Those three will do it. Zuber is going to get you, the One Rental at a Time is going to get you in a place where it's, this is a strategy that I can follow no matter what level of the game I want to get to. You start here, you are going to have success under his principles, period. They are fantastic.
Yeah. And
he does a lot of creative finance. He talks about that in that book, which I'm a huge fan of. Brandon Turner is going to walk you through the fundamentals of each asset of real estate investing, building your team, raising capital. Simple, easy. It's not going to overwhelm you. That's why I like the book.
Yeah, and Deals on Wheels will share just a little bit of information about how to play the game from a different angle. If you've got a beach ball, I guarantee you're seeing a different side, different panel than I am. Vice versa with Christian. We're all sitting at a different angle, so we're going to see it from a different way. That book is designed to open your mind to different ideas, not mindsets, but actual concepts you can apply to the real estate game.
Now, if there's one YouTube channel that you watch to learn creative finance, multifamily investing, I'm going to recommend Cody and Christian.
Multifamily strategy.
You can hit like and subscribe here. We appreciate you watching. And leave us a comment below if you've read or have any comments on these books. Would love to discuss further. Talk to you guys next week.